Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope you are fine. So, welcome to class 10th English. How's your studies going on, class 10th? Are you doing the studies at home or not? Or just passing your time, lying in the bed under the blankets and reading, studying? Yeah, as you know, you are in the board class and exams will be there definitely. You cannot miss the exams. You will be only promoted to class 11 when you pass your exams of class 10 boards. So studies are very important and I hope you are studying. In the previous class, we studied the poetry, the ball poem. I hope everybody has understood. Nobody is facing any doubt. If there is any doubt, there's a doubt class. You can join the doubt class. No issues with this. On every Friday. And I hope you have done the question answers also. Do the question answers which are at the last of the chapter, and the questions answers are very important to be done in your notebook. So today we are going to start a new chapter of your same book, First Flight. I hope everybody has taken out the book. If not, arrange it, take it out and keep a pencil along with you to underline the hard words, to underline the main sentences, write the meaning of the hard words. Chapter is chapter number 7, Glimpses of India. Glimpses. What is the meaning of glimpses? Any idea? In Hindi, we can call it Ek Jhalak. India. India is a land of diversities, culture, traditions, customs. Different cultures are found in India. You know it very well. Wherever you go, from north to south, from east to west, you will come across different sort of peoples with different history, different background, different culture. How many places have you ever visited in India? Many? Yeah. What images of people and of places come to your mind when you think of our country? Yeah, different attires, different dresses, different way of living. In Rajasthan we see dhoti and kurta. In Punjab we see different kind of kurta pajama, right? In Maharashtra, different attire. Females in everywhere wearing different dresses. Their way of talking, their languages, everything is different. If I ask you to draw some paintings of the people, you will create a lot of ones, right? So India is full of diversities. You know it very well, right? If I say, what parts of India have you lived in or visited? If I talk about myself, I have visited the whole East, Gangtok, Sikkim, Darjeeling, okay, UP, Bihar, these places, Maharashtra in South, Goa, right? And your Manali, Shimla. Many of you also have visited. Not this year because of Corona, but before that. Can you name some popular tourist destinations? I have just named out, like Goa, very good, Mumbai, Shimla, Manali, Kullu, Dharamshala, Darjeeling, Gangtok, Kerala. Don't you feel? These are some. Can you name? Many are there. You may know that apart from the British, the Dutch, and the French, the Portuguese have also played a part in the history of our country. You know it very well that our country was invaded by many of the countries, not only British. Don't think that British only ruled over India. No, by France, by Dutch people, by the Portuguese people. They also ruled at some of the parts. They could not when the whole country, like British, ruled over the whole country, but at some places. Like Portuguese also played a very good role in the history of India, right? Can you say which parts of India show French and Portuguese influences? How many of you have visited Goa? If you have visited Goa, you would see the Portuguese culture there. It was ruled by Portuguese people, Portugal, right? It has a different culture, different sort of people. Goa is one of the Union territories, full of beaches, very beautiful place to visit. Now, Winter Carnival is going to start in December. Right time to visit Goa. If you haven't visited, go and visit. The hotels are taking very less rents. They are giving discounts because of less number of tourists nowadays. You can visit it nowadays. Can you say which parts of India grow tea, coffee? You know which part of India grows tea? I named out Darjeeling, Gangtok, Manali. These are the places where tea is found. And coffee, Karnataka, very famous, remember? So these are some questions, these are some interesting things about India which we should know. And India is also a beautiful place. I don't know why Indians, people want to visit out of India, abroad first. Go abroad, it is also beautiful, but India is far more beautiful than the other places. Natural sights, awesome. So if you haven't visited India, start visiting. So we are getting the glimpses of India in this chapter, and in this chapter we are going to read about three very beautiful places and the people and culture of these places. And after reading this chapter, I know you'd also get curious to know these places and you also would want to visit these places, right? Now, what chapters are there? It is given on page number 85. So, kindly take out page number 85, chapter number 7, Glimpses of India. In this chapter, there are three parts. First part, a baker from Goa. By reading the title, you would get to know it is all about Goa. By Lucio Rodriguez. Part 2, Kur, Lokesh Abral. And third, Tea from Assam, Arup Kumar Datta. Today we are going to read part 1, A Baker from Goa. Goa. I know after listening the name of Goa, many of your faces would get a smile. Okay, charming one. Everybody wants to go Goa in this world. Right? Am I right? Yes. So, this is a pen portrait of a traditional Goa village baker who still has an important place in his society. You know, Goa, I just told you, Goa is a country which was ruled by Portugal, Portuguese people, and still has the Portuguese culture. In that culture, that time, bread used to play a very important play in the life of the people. And the breads are made by bakers. So bakers had a very, very important role, vital role in the life of Goa people. Right? So this chapter is about this. In this chapter, it is a pan portrait of a traditional Goa village. Firstly, you will come to know about Goa village, traditional. Beaches are only found in the old Goa, not in new Goa, where the villages are there. Goa village baker, who will who still has an important place in this society. Still, a baker plays a very important role in their society. So I'm going to start. I know you are ready to know about the baker and the Goa people. Be concentrated. We'll complete this part today itself and we'll discuss the question answers too. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days. The Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. What's the meaning of reminiscing nostalgically? Thinking fondly of the past. Our elders are often heard. Means we have heard that our elders, they also have heard and they are very fond of their past about the good old Portuguese days. When the Portuguese used to rule over Goa, they were very good days in Goa. And those Portuguese were very famous and their loaves of bread was very famous that time. And people used to think about the past and they loved to think about their past because it was a wonderful past. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. Those eaters, those Portuguese people who were great fond of the breads, might they are not there, they are vanished, they are disappeared. Because now Goa is a part of Indian culture. But the loaves of bread, loaves means slices, leaf, are still there. We still have amongst us the mixers. Mixers means who mixed, which is mixed, the molders and those who bake the loaves. There are three kinds of people: mixers who mixes, molders who molded, and the bakers who bake the loaves. Firstly, mixing, then molding, then baking. So different people were there for different jobs, and they still have these people in their society. Those age-old, time-tested furnaces still exist, and those old furnaces where these loaves of bread were bagged, the cakes were bagged, they are still there. They still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished, and the fire is still burning. It has not got extinguished yet. The fire has still got a life. The third and jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo. Third is a kind of sound. Dhum, dhum, dhum. And jingle, jingle, jingle. Remember? Of the traditional baker's bamboo, heralding his arrival in the morning, can still be heard in some places. What the author is saying, the third and jingle means the sound which was made by the bamboo stick, which was carried by the baker, traditional baker in his hand, and the sound of third or jingle sound, it is still heard in the streets of Goa, which heralded, which announced every morning that the baker has come. And it could be heard in some places of Goa villages still. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. It could happen that father would be no more, he would have died, but the son is still carrying that tradition of the father of baker. And these bakers are even today known as Padar in Goa. Name is Padar in Goa. Name is given. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion, and guide. Now, the author was recalling his childhood days, just memorizing, rememorizing, recalling his old good days when he was a child and he used to live in Goa. In his childhood, the baker used to be their friend, friend of these children, companion, partners, and guide too. How? He used to come at least twice a day. The baker, who was his friend, he used to come twice a day, maybe in the morning and in the evening. Once he set out in the morning on his sailing round. When he comes once in the morning, when he goes for selling his bread all over the place, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. Firstly, to sell, and second, when he returned after selling his whole basket, then again he was seen 2 times, twice a day. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. They were saying they used to wake up, get up by the sound of the bamboo. Thud of the bamboo and jingling sound of the bamboo used to wake them up. And after listening, after hearing that sound, they used to run out and meet and greet that baker. Why was it so? Why this used to happen? The author was unaware of the answer. Now he was asking why it was so. Was it for the love of the loaf? Maybe it was because they used to love the bread a lot, and maybe that baker used to give them a loaf of bread. That's why. So reason is unknown. Let's see. Not at all. No, these are not the reason. The loaves were bought by some Paskin or Bastine, the maid servant of the house. The loaves were bought by the servants, Paskin or Bastine. That was the maid servant. Name is forgotten by our author. He was confused with the name. What was the name? Was Paskin or Bastine. He used to purchase he used to buy the bread from the baker. What we longed for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. They used to wake up, they used to run, not because of the loaves of the bread, but because of the bangles, bread bangles. The baker used to make the bangles of bread for these people, and because of those bread bangles, they used to wake up and run to choose them carefully from the pile. Sometimes it was sweet bread of a special make. Sometimes they were sweet bread. The baker used to make some sweet breads for them, especially. That's why they used to wake up early and they used to run. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jhang jhang sound of his specially made bamboo staff. Staff means stick. The baker used to make his entry by sound, jhang jhang, special entry by that sound which was made by specially made bamboo staff, stick. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. With one hand he used to hold the basket and with the other he used to make the sound. Maybe that was to inform the people that he has come. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning. Then he comes and greet the lady and then place his basket on vertical bamboo. Then he just put that basket on that bamboo and used to give the bread to the lady of the house. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. When these were very small kids, they were pushed aside. Means that baker used to scold them with love, with affection. Okay, not very mild means softly. Scolded them to be aside, and he used to give the loaves to the servant of the houses. Simple chapter. But we would not give up. The author is saying they never accepted the defeat. They did not go, did not move. We would climb a bench or the parapet. Parapet means low railing or low wall for safety. What is parapet? Low railing or low wall for safety purpose. So either they used to climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket. What is there? What is there? Looking for the bread bangles. Somehow I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. The author is saying he was still able to remember the fragrance of the loaves. Loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. The baker used to bring loaves of the bread for the elders and the bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. They used to have, and they did not take care of their teeth properly, did not even brush their teeth properly or wash their mouths even, as many of you, many of my lovely children would do now, especially in winter after coming out of the blankets, okay, or the kills. And why should we? And the author was asking, why should they have done that? To brush their teeth and wash their mouths? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush? Because nobody wanted to bother themselves to climb a mango tree and pluck the mango leaf to brush their teeth as a toothbrush. There were no toothbrushes earlier. They used to clean their teeth by the mango leaf. And why was it necessary for all at all? And that was not a necessary thing to clean the teeth. Now, what excuse was given by the narrator for not cleaning, for not brushing his teeth? What he says, let's see further. The tiger never brushed his teeth. It was his opinion. He thought himself as a tiger, and tigers never brush. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after. And they used to have hot tea which would wash everything and clean everything so nicely. That's why they never used to brush. That was an opinion by them. Let's see the oral comprehension. Homework questions for you. I am discussing, then I will tell what to be done in the homework. Let's say we do all the 4 questions in the homework. Not so tough, very easy. What are the elders in Goa nostalgic about? The answer is on the first page. Those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. It is the answer. Clear? Yes. Is bread making still popular in Goa? Yes. How do you know? First page itself. Those age-old time-tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. It shows that the bread is still made in Goa, popular in Goa. What is the baker called? Pade. Name is given. P-A-D-E-R, Pade. When would the baker come every day? Why did the children run to meet him? When did the baker come? Any idea? Twice a day. Remember? Twice a day. And why did the children run to meet him? To get the bread bangles. Yes, my dear. Let's continue. Page number 87. Today we are going to complete this part. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl. Just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. Getting it? So, without the sweet bread known as ball, the party was meaningless. And without that bread, the party had no charm. That was the fondness of bread that time. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. This shows the importance of a baker in the village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. It was a compulsion. The lady of the house had to prepare sandwiches which were made by bread on the engagements of their daughters. Cakes and bolihas are a must for Christmas. These two dishes are very important in Christmas, cakes and bolihas, as well as other festivals. Means every festival, every occasion, they needed something to be made by breads. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. That is the reason the presence of baker or bread was really needed. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. And the baker or bread seller used to wear a strange dress, peculiar dress, have a special name, kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. That was a single frock reaching to the knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trouser. Now author again was recalling his childhood. Then when he was child, he saw bakers wearing a long shirt and trousers which were shorter than full-length ones and longer than half pants. They used to wear a different sort of trouser which were not as long as the real trousers but a little more than the shorts, half pants. Shorter than the trousers, longer than the half pants. This was the attire worn by baker that time known as kabai. Right? It was not known as kabai. Kabai was known as a single piece long frock. But in his childhood, he saw the padder, the bakers wearing this dress. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed like a padder. So anyone who was seen wearing the half pants below knees, he used to be called padder. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. When he used to collect the bills? At the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil not in any diary or notebook. They were recorded on some wall with pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. As you could see, the breads were welcomed on each and every occasion. Without cakes, without bread, they could not go for any kind of celebration and occasion. So, how much important it was, and that was a profitable business that time, right? The baker and his family never starved, they never die of hunger. It was in demand a lot. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. And these three people, whether the baker or his family members or the servants who used to work there, they always looked prosperous and happy. Their plump physique, plump means fat body, okay, was an open testimony to this. It was an open evidence certificate that they were prosperous and healthy, fat, okay, khate pite ghar ke. Even today, any person with a jackfruit like physical appearance, now the author was calling him jackfruit. So, anybody nowadays too with that jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. If anybody was found with that personality like a jackfruit, he was called as a baker by the people. So, this is the story about a baker in Goa, how they looked, how they dressed, what they were called, how they were earning very well. Still, the bread is used in Goa. Let's see the question answers again for homework. Oral comprehension check, doing the homework. First question is match the following. Simple. A marriage gift